140-pound champion of the world, introducing Amir King Khan.
What a pleasure to be in this unique environment. Every seat has been taken. After months of uncertainty, we finally have a fight. Do you believe this? Right on the button with that right hand. And a nice left hook. All the talking has been done. It's time to start doing the walking.
You have certain fighters that are born for this, that are made for the big crowd. And looking at corner right there, that is that fighter right there. They have elevated, lifted, it's like they're not touching the ground. This is what they were born for.
Good hook to the body. Which fighter will say no mas? If you're a counter puncher, then basically you do the counter attack. You let them get their punch off first, and then you answer in kind.
Todd, I understand what you're saying, but you've got to be on this. You've got to be on it. You've got to be a pro. You've got to think right, concentrate.
These two are the perfect dance partners.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them. More than happy.
That counter shot lands. He misses with that jab. And he scores with the counter. Missing with the hook. If you like defense, you're going to love this fighter. Excellent defense. They stay on the outside. They use their jab efficiently, and they don't take damage.
Todd, this is what it's all about. Hit and don't get hit. Jab, move, pop, slip. Use your footwork. Drive your opponent crazy.
Nice exchange here from both men. That counter punch caught him clean. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Talk about Shawn Porter in that last round. He is down big time on the scores.
Every second, every minute of this fight is important. Every second, every minute of this round is important.
What do we expect to see here in round two? Off their stools and ready to go. Let's hope this round is more competitive.
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on him. That's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
Nice counter shot. Neither one of these fighters want to see the judges' scorecards. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Those counter punches have to hurt. Walk away from each other and then run right back into trouble. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. You can tell he's stronger, but he's not faster. His stamina is off the charts. Punch, counter punch. And they figure out the combination to this save.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
Well, Johnny, it's still early on, but what do you think about what we're seeing so far?
Sometimes when you have a fight, the best way to beat a fight is not give them what they want. Because they want to get you there, they want you to stand there toe-to-toe with them and have a tail. That's what they do in the gym every single day of the week. What you've got to do is you've got to frustrate them as they set their shots. Get out of the way, and they'll get so angry, so frustrated because they can't work.
Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Back and forth they go. Missing with the hook. Nice work to avoid the left uppercut. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Let's talk about Shawn Porter in that last round. And a round that seemed like an eternity for them finally comes to a close.
You know, I've been in
Here we go in round 3. Who's going to land the first big shot? Not the start that they wanted, but let's see what they can do in this round.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Beautiful counter punch. What do you think of what we've seen so far from these two boxers, Johnny?
It's the one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you've hit and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, but you've got to be confident.
You'd like to see more jabs. A perfect counter shot. Someone's will cave, but which fighter will it be? Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. They exchange punches. How much confidence do you build when your opponents hit you with their best shot and you walk right through?
What a gift. What a gift it is to have a chin where you know you can walk through anything and everything. When you let those shots go and it's just bouncing off and they're walking you down, it's so demoralizing. It absolutely breaks your heart. What else can you do?
Halfway through the round, and man, these two are going at it.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
And so far, the offense has been better than the defense. One punch could change anything when these two step in the ring. And this is a you hit me hard, I'll hit you hard type of fight. How about that time counter shot? It's all offense all the time. It's bombs away. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Let's talk about Shawn Porter in that last round. From this moment forward, he cannot afford to lose another round.
Wow, it's like two different leagues.
Get your mind back on the job. Yes, I like that round. Good round. You feel good.
And there's the bell to start round 4. Let's see how they bounce back here in this round.
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be a fool. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him, tie him up just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's going to pop you off.
You've seen all the famous boxing movies, the training scenes, the gym work. That's what it all boils down to. Who's going to have more endurance?
What can they change? Can they slow the pace down? Can they hope to knock them out early? What can they do? They've got to concentrate and relax. Because you know what you can do in the gym, you can do it in a fight. They've got to relax.
An uppercut does not score. He threw a punch and just got countered. They need to be careful they don't punch themselves out here. You don't see a lot of welterweights that can bring you one-punch KO power, but these two can.
They know the second they touch you, it's done. They're that powerful.
Good counter punching. The winner of this surely will get a world title shot. Insane action. The straight right just misses. Missed him with that uppercut. Just when you think they're going to have a lull in the action, we get it heated back up. Holding nothing back here in the round. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Talk about Shawn Porter in that last round. Well, we're entering desperation mode here. Gonna need a knockout.
Needs a knockout without a doubt. Needs to go out there and think, right, you know what? Next round, you get...
On to the 5th we go. It has been all one-way traffic. How do they turn this around?
Now he knows he's been hurt. He's going to come out and put the pressure on. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. You've got to be ready for that. Don't fight fire with fire. Hold him off. Be smart because he's going to try and put you under pressure. He knows your legs have gone. He knows your head's not cleared. Be sharp.
Well done with that counter shot. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. You know, with welterweights, they sometimes bring you the best of both worlds. Fast hands and power.
I've seen some fighters with a granite chin. You can hit them with a sledgehammer. They are not going to move. But then I've seen some mad punchers with a chin like a crisp. As soon as you touch them, they're gone. And this is the danger spot.
These two were made for each other. Nice counter shot. Both men step back for just a moment. Nice counter punch right up the middle. Don't let this fighter's speed fool you. There's some method to the madness. These are precision shots, and they're coming at lightning speed.
You've got to ruffle their feathers, Todd. You cannot let them get comfortable, drag them, get them complaining to the referee, because once somebody with excellent foot speed and excellent power gets into the rhythm, the fight is over.
Halfway through the round, and there's not a lot separating these two.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them. More than happy.
Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there would be some more action here. Out of the way of that right hook. That hook was off target. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Talk about Shawn Porter in that last round. Well, he is in big trouble here. He may have been saved by the bell.
I've been in fights like that. When you're thinking, come on, bell, ring.
On to the 6th round. After that last round, something has got to change.
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be a fool. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him, tie him up just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's going to pop you off.
They call it the chin. How strong is your chin? Do you have a glass chin? These are things that can affect the fight.
Because you've got a good chin doesn't mean you've got leather skin. It means you can still get caught. So you've got to go for those pointed areas, over the eyebrow, the cheekbone. You've just got to try and cut them, skim and go for speed.
There's a counter shot. When are we going to see a jab from these two? Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. It's always fascinating to watch two good welterweights because they've got blurry hand speed and good power.
What you've got to do, Toddy, is anticipation. You've got to wait. You just got to throw caution to the wind and just hope. You're never going to know where the shots are coming from. You just got to put in a guess.
Some nice exchanges from both men in this round.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Just like a match made in heaven.
The straight right just misses. Right when you think the pace will slow down, it picks up. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Endurance is becoming a factor. You can see this fighter having a hard time getting out of the way of the punches, and they're not throwing as many on their own.
Midway through the fight, if you are tired, this can be the loneliest place in the world. If you cheated, now we're going to find out.
And that jab just missed with the left hand. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Shawn Porter in that last round. What would you tell this guy? He's got to do something different.
Well, sometimes it can be the sweetest sound.
You've let him back into this. You bet. Great round. Now relax. Good workout.
Round 7, here we go. Safe to say that last round was a nightmare. Let's see if we can turn it around here.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Both men step back for just a moment. It's knockout or bust for both of these fighters. So far, it seems like aggression has been the key. This fighter just not slowing down.
This is about ego. Get your ego in check, Todd, because if you fight a man that is used to doing this, he's confident and comfortable doing this, why are you giving him that chance to dance that dance? Step out of the way, box him, frustrate him, because if you let him get away with it, he'll close you down.
Not a lot of punch output. Thought there would be some more action here. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. A very competitive round here so far.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Talk about punches and bunches. That's the mantra for this fighter with that exceptional hand speed.
When you have a fight that's got that great footwork and that great hand speed, it's so hard. It's an uphill battle.
You'd like to see more jabs. Do you believe what we're seeing? When are we going to see a jab from these two? Swing and a miss with the jab. Swing and a miss with the left uppercut. Very close round with 10 seconds to... Let's see that again.
Shot from the gods, they say. A shot from the gods.
Talk about Shawn Porter in that last round. Is there any way back into this fight after the beating he has taken so far?
They believe their fighter has it in the tank.
Nice round, good round. I like that, I'm happy. Stay full ground. Get back out there.
There's the bell to start round 8. Is this the beginning of the end after 2 knockdowns last round?
2 knockdowns and you're coming back from that? That's near on impossible because your head must be all over the place. Your legs are feeling like jelly. What can they tell you in the corner? All they can do is wake you up. They can't even go into game plan.
How nervous would you get when you know you're facing a big puncher like this that can seriously hurt you?
You've got to be courageous when you get in there with someone that's bigger, stronger, and faster. You've just got to use brain then.
You believe what we are seeing. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. the counter lands. You hear people talk about a boxer's chin. Do they have a good chin? Do they have a glass jaw? Those are questions that are being answered here tonight.
This is when you get in the ring feeling like you're King Kong, because you know you've got a chin that is not going to get dented.
Nice counter. The straights continue to score. You'd like to see more jabs. What do you think of this fight so far, Johnny?
I've seen some aggressive fighters. They can terrorize the life out of you before they've even thrown their shot. The strength they have, the speed they have, and that knockout punch, they want to punch through you. They don't want to punch you. They want to punch straight through you. So you've got to be careful.
A lazy jab in this fight, you're gonna get knocked out. Missing with that jab. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Talk about Shawn Porter in that last round. At this point, you got to believe he can't win on the scorecards, gonna need a knockout.
Every second, every minute of this fight is important.
Great work, I love that.
Let's see how much fatigue we see here in round 9. That corner has got to find a way to get some momentum behind their fighter.
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on him. That's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
This fighter is not interested in throwing one shot at a time. They throw combinations, and they throw them non-stop.
This can be so frustrating when you're with such a fast fighter that can throw 3-4 shot combinations before you've even let one off. That creates frustration, and that's when it gets hard.
The straight right just misses. Both men step back for just a moment. We hear that old phrase, second win. You've got to find it somehow.
Now you've got two fighters that are absolutely shattered. What gets you through? Willpower. Calm, because if you panic, you get desperate. If you get desperate, you make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you get knocked out.
He threw the hook, didn't land. The straight right just misses. Caution being thrown to the wind. One of the best attributes to have in boxing has nothing to do with boxing. It's how well you can take a punch to the face.
Todd, you know what? Sometimes when I've done in the ring with fights like that, and you punch them, you just want to run. You want that spaceship to come and lift you out there because you think, what the hell am I going to do now?
Catch and shoot. Got out of the way of that right hook. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. talk about Sean Porter in that last round. Well, he is glad to have heard that bell.
Wow, it's like two different leagues.
You had everything in the bag, and now you've let him. Good work, that's it. Now breathe, just get your breath back. Good man.
And here comes the 10th round. So the fight will continue. How do they turn things around?
Now he knows he's been hurt. He's going to come out and put the pressure on. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. You've got to be ready for that. Don't fight fire with fire. Hold him off. Be smart because he's going to try and put you under pressure. He knows your legs are gone. He knows your head's not cleared. Be sharp.
This fighter has determined that they can walk through any punches that their opponent throws, and that's a very confident spot to be in.
Don't get trigger happy because all of a sudden you're going to be gassing yourself out trying to get that shot, and that's when they catch you.
Throws the jab, it doesn't score. One punch could change everything in this battle. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there would be some more action here. There's a big difference between being the aggressor and the effective aggressor. Which type are we seeing so far?
I've seen some aggressive fighters like this, and they are a nightmare. If you are not fit, that is the worst place to be, having second thoughts in the ring.
Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Just missed with that hook. Nope, that jab not going to score. Power is obviously the great equalizer in boxing, but when you know your opponent is relying on that so heavily, how do you deal with it?
Sometimes when you get in there with someone that's so powerful, you've got to thinking. You've just got to be smarter than them. You've got to be like a little Fagin and pickpocket them.
Might want to think of holding on here for a minute. Good counter punch. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Sean Porter in that last round. That bell could not have come soon enough for this guy.
You know, I've been in fights like that. When you're thinking, come on, Bell, ring away. You walk back to the corner like you've just seen.
And there's the bell to start round 11. So not the best round, but let's see if they can turn it around here.
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on him. That's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
The right hook misses. The work rate is down. The head isn't moving as well, Johnny. Fatigue is starting to set in.
Now this is about desire. This is about character. This is about want.
You'd like to see more jabs. Beautiful counter shot. You can tell who's stronger and who's faster. And that hook misses. Well, Well, Johnny, has anything surprised you here as we enter the final frames of this bout?
So you're getting in there with somebody that's so fast, you're prepared to take a licking because you've got to get some before you get him close.
That's another scoring shot. Straight right just misses. What heart, what desire, but at what cost? When you're a power puncher, you're not as concerned with how many punches you throw. It's about how many you land and how hard they are.
This could be really intimidating, Todd. If you know somebody's got the punch power, someone's got the speed, it can be intimidating. Just depends on how confident you are as a fighter.
That hook won't score. Unlucky to miss with that uppercut. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Let's talk about Khan in that last round. You've heard the old phrase, this might come down to who wants it more, but it might come down to who's in better shape.
This is when you talk about championship material.
Yes, I like that round. Good round. You feel good? Just keep him on the end of that, Jack.
Who thought we would have made it to 12? They let it all hang out in the last round. What do they got left?
An amazing pace and tempo set in the last round. Can you keep this up? Me personally, I don't think that's possible. And if they can, their training, their conditioning would have been ridiculous, like they're in the army. But these guys, if they can keep up this pace, we are in for a great night.
Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. Well, just a couple rounds left, Johnny. What's your assessment so far?
I've seen certain fighters that can depend on just their power alone. Forget tactics. They know the second they touch you, it's done. That's where the confidence comes from.
When are we going to see a jab from these two? The straight right just misses. Nice counter punch. Stamina is so important for these two fighters because it allows them to use their skills throughout the match. It can all come down to who's in better shape.
What can they change? They can change their attitude. They can change their nervous system for a certain amount of punches per round. Because otherwise, if they deviate from the game plan, they're going to be shattered once again and the fight will be over.
Incredible work rate. One moment changes everything, especially in this division. As we enter the final frames of this bout, Johnny, what have we seen so far?
Work the body, frustrate them, take the mind off the chin, take the mind off protecting everything around that. Work the body, use tactics. Sometimes it's so hard to actually outbox a fight and beat them on points.
Punch himself out, though. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there would be some more action here. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. thought the fight a little bit closer, but the judges are in agreement. A unanimous decision win.
They've done it before, now they're doing it again.